everyone, welcome to another edition of Divorce-a-Palooza. And in this edition, we are going to talk about first-time home buyers. So there might be a lot of people watching where the only home you've ever owned is with your husband who or wife who you're now divorcing, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be buying a home now. Are you excited? Are you scared? Do you have mixed feelings? We want to get into that, all of those emotions, and give you some tips on home buying today. My guest is Staci Yesner, who's a realtor with Compass in downtown Chicago, and she also services the suburbs of Chicago. Hi, Staci.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being on Divorce-a-Palooza. Now, Stacy, how long have you been a real estate agent?
I have been in real estate for 9 years.
Okay, and oh, Stacy used to be a social worker. So I think that is a huge plus because I think there's a huge emotional component to looking for a home. Do you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
So
I mean,
being a real estate agent probably feels like an extension of your old job.
yes. I mean, especially with first-time home buyers or people that are starting the next chapter of their lives. They don't sometimes they don't know where to begin. And so it's really important to educate them. And being a social worker in schools, that's what I did a lot, was educating people on a lot of different things.
Okay, now the other thing though about you, Stacy, is that you actually lived through it. You bought a home by yourself. You remember all the feelings that, and it was scary, it was stressful, but it was also really exciting, right? I mean, and you weren't in the business at the time, or were you?
No, I wasn't. I was working
So,
in schools. Yeah.
okay, so you were not in the business. So did you almost feel like it was intimidating? Like, tell me how you think first-time homeowners feel.
It was really scary. I mean, my realtor was a friend, so um I didn't necessarily have a team of people behind me, which I think is really important. My realtor, my lender, my real estate attorney were not all connected. They were people that I brought to the table, which isn't a bad thing all the time. But I think having people that know how to communicate really well is really important, especially with so many changes in real estate today that didn't happen because I bought before the market crashed, so it was very different in
You mean before
2000.
2008?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. I bought in 2006, so it
Mm-hmm.
was very different then. So today it's really important to have a team of trusted professionals that really work well together and know how
And
to
who are you talking about?
um, your realtor, your mortgage broker, your real estate attorney in Illinois, we use real estate attorneys, and it's any inspectors that you use. And
Okay.
any contractors if there's any issues that come up during the inspection.
And also, if you're getting divorced, a financial advisor to weigh
Correct.
in on what can you afford, how
Yes,
much is your monthly payment is going to be doable. And,
correct.
you may start to look before you're actually divorced and have like a range, and then those numbers could change. But if you start good planning, you'll at least have an idea.
Right, and that's why the financial planner and the lender should be in communication with one another,
Absolutely.
because it's not just what you can afford, it's what you want to pay, because those 2 things can be very different. Y
Right.
I don't want my buyers to be house poor. I want them to be able to afford going out to dinner, going on vacation, buying furniture for their homes, and doing the things that they enjoy doing, as opposed to just having the amount for the mortgage and taxes and insurance.
Okay, now we've talked about this before. Do you feel like somebody you start taking a new home buyer out to look at homes because they told you kind of what they were looking for and what they wanted, as you say in your initial call.
Mhm.
And then you get to the places, and then after they see a few, they go, you know what? Now I'm kind of thinking I might want a high rise. Like, do people's tastes just start to change all the time?
Yes, yes, they can, depending on, what their needs. I always wanna know what they need to have and then what they want to have and try and marry the 2, and it doesn't always work, right? But depending on what stage of life they're in, right? Obviously, someone who's divorced and single, as opposed to divorced with kids, are gonna have very different needs. So yes, but some do decide they want a high rise because they prefer to have some of the amenities that um, a smaller condo building won't have. But then they have to worry about higher assessments.
Right.
So
But see, also, it could happen even when they're not even looking. Let's say somebody is looking at 3 flats with you, or just like a not the whole building, but like just
right,
a
yep,
unit in a 3 flat. And then they go over to their girlfriend's party over the weekend and they see, and she's in a high rise, and they're like, wow, this is really cool. I've never been here before. Maybe now that maybe I think I want this now. So do you tell people, like, to take their time? Like, how does it work so you don't end up in a place that you regret?
yes, absolutely. I tell them to take their time, but I also point out pros and cons of all the buildings, right? Like that high rise, the assessments can be really high. And depending on the price of the condo and the assessments and the taxes, it might be too expensive for them. Um, Parking can be an additional, 25 to $30,000 or an extra monthly fee if it's rental. A 3-unit building may be self-managed, so their reserves may be too low. So the single, condo owner may have to be able to cough up an additional $10,000 at the drop of a hat for a special assessment if the roof needs to be replaced, for
Right.
example. So those
Right.
are all things that I make sure that a buyer, especially a first-time home buyer, is well aware of.
I
You
love it. Alright, tell me about the transformation you see when a new home buyer starts looking with you and they're all, like, intimidated and nervous, and then at the end, they're so excited when they make an offer.
So it's before they even make the offer, it's when they walk into the right property. And it's just the look on their face when they know it's the right one.
Mhm.
Because I can take a person into a property and they know it's not the right one. I can tell just by the
And
expression.
I bet you can guess when you walk in with them, you know they're gonna love it. You say, "This is gonna be the one for them,"
Correct. And
because
sometimes
you've been to every one with them.
I know even before which ones they're gonna like and which ones they're not gonna like, just based on what they've told me. And even the things that I don't hear, just based on other information they've told me about themselves. Uh, whether it's things that they like to do, given the neighborhood that it's in, I know if they're gonna like a particular neighborhood or not. If they're looking in the city or, if they're trying a different suburb, I could tell which suburbs might work for them or not, but I can't say, "No, you shouldn't look there," or "You should look there," just because of fair housing. I can't really
And
steer
also, you
them.
have to let them come to the decision themselves, even though you're probably sitting there going, "This is such a waste of my time. They're never gonna end up here," but that's okay.
Right.
It's part of the process.
Correct.
But,
Yes.
I really think real estate is fun. And Stacy, I love what you do. Like, I would love to be a real estate agent because, I mean, listen, I don't know everything that goes into it. There's a lot of hard parts about it, but going into all the homes and watching somebody find their dream home would be so much fun for me. And that's what I want to tell people watching. If you are like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I have to own a home by myself now and I have to go find this home. Be excited. This is exciting. And you are going to be so happy. And if you think of all the millions of women that have done this, who went from this big, huge house, they never managed it, they never managed any money or anything. And then they get divorced and they go out and they buy a home by themselves. It is so empowering. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling. You just feel so good.
But the other thing is that when I help someone buy a home, my relationship with them is not over once they get the keys.
Mhm.
I'm there and I'm available for people throughout, throughout the length of their stay in that home.
And what do you mean? For what?
If they need if they own like if you owned your home and I had helped you and all of a sudden you need a roofer, you can reach out to me and I will
Oh, that's
recommend
so
some
nice.
roofers,
Yeah,
right?
or like even what are some good restaurants in this
Correct,
neighborhood? Mhm.
correct. Like, I'm available, and I have clients reach out to me because they have issues with their HOA, and I provide them assistance. Or, some of it is based on my own knowledge, but I will point them in the right direction and give them resources of people that I know that can help them. So I am always a resource for my clients forever.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
you're
Stacy. I'm so
welcome.
glad you to have you on the show.
No problem. Have a great day.
And I want to tell my listeners, if you like what you heard and you want to have a consult with Stacy, she can be found at stacysellschicago.com, and it's Stacy with an I. And you can also find Stacy in the trusted professional section of Divorce Girl Smiling. So if you're thinking of buying a home or actually selling your home, and you live in the city or in the suburbs of Chicago, Stacy actually knows both. She's lived in both. So feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for listening to Divorceapalooza. We'll talk to you soon.